The fur head is always sneaking off. Several times throughout our journey, I stopped to cry over Radiant and Apollo. Everything reminds me of them, every smell. I can hear their voices on the wind. My heart hurts so much from missing them. Every time I open my eyes, I still expect to see them on top of me, trying to wake me up, trying to get me to feed them or play with them or to show me the latest thing they caught. My mind can't even conceive this unbearably painful sensation. Physical pain doesn't hurt as much as this inner malevolence does. I raise my head because this is, I believe, the 5th time I've seen the fur head leaving. We had an agreement that we would work as a team and that he is now a member of my pack. I realize what's happening. This time, I find the energy to follow him. I watch as he sneakily hunts an animal and then kills it, then proceeds to eat the food. How dare he? I'm gonna make myself known. What do you think you're doing, Furhead? You poor dumb thing. You don't know any better. I walk around him and place myself in front. He pushes what's left of the food to me. That's right. A little assertiveness is what will set them straight right away. I devour the rest of the food and I walk back to my nest. I start to follow where he goes because I've come to realize that Furhead knows exactly where there's food. I mean, I do too. I can smell them from a mile away, but I usually have to sniff them out, especially if we've come to a new land. Now that we're always traveling, there's no time to really study our surroundings. But no matter what new place we happen across, he always knows right where to find them. How? Maybe he's been in these areas before, but it saves me the effort of having to hunt for my own food. Many of the creatures I've encountered know how to mask their scent, so I have to try extra hard. I must admit, I still talk to my baby sometimes, like they're still here. Sometimes I will take a dead creature while it's still warm and snuggle next to it and pretend that it's my daughter and son. And when they start to stink or turn cold, the illusion is lost. I decide to take a few things that would last a little longer, like a tree bark or a fluff of leaves. We're always traveling though, and so I can't take those things with me. I think the Furhead knows, because for a time, he would lie next to me, and feeling his warm body on my side makes me think about my babies, and it helps me to go to sleep easier. I still have horrible, scary dreams, and I wake up scared, thinking that my babies are gonna die, only to remember that they are, and that my life is an ongoing nightmare. Imagine going to sleep every night and reliving your worst fear, losing the ones you love, only to wake up with relief that it was just a dream. But then to find out that you're actually living the nightmare and you'll never wake from it. That's what it's like for me now. But life has to go on, right? They would want me to be happy. They would want me to continue on. Another morning, I wake up and find the Furhead sneaking off again. Honestly, this is beginning to annoy me. Why didn't he just wake me up? I get up and follow him, and we hunt side by side. All right, you stupid thing, do your job. Find it. I look over at him, wondering how he suddenly got stripes on his skin. How did he do that? Suddenly, I see it in the distance. I even smell it too. I look over at him and I can see that he has too. I saw it first, so I run towards it and he picks up the pace, but luckily, I'm faster than he is. Does he honestly think he's faster than me? From somewhere in the distance, he's able, with little effort, to take down the prey. I snatch it up before anything else does. He's a really good pet. Suddenly, he's behind me roaring in my face. I roar back. That's too bad, you were too slow and you know how this works. I swallow down the prey. I know the reason he always sneaks off is so he can find something to eat. That's his purpose. And I made him a member of my pack, so it's his job to find me food as well. While I'm chomping down on the prey, he's already eating something. See? That's what I'm talking about. This Furhead is some sort of magic. He's bred for this stuff. I sniff what he's eating to see if it's something that I can eat, but it smells disgusting. Hours later, he sneaks off again. I don't think he's doing it on purpose. I think once his nose catches something, he just goes for it, and I just have to be awake or alert when he does. I get up, but he's moving rather slowly. He then squats down in the distance to force out the nasty. Not wanting to spread our scent everywhere, I go where he goes. Makes sense, really. Jeez, Furhead, you sure take a long time to force that out. I mean, seriously, look at this. I squat down and all of my nasty comes spilling out. He's still sitting there. You know, for such a small thing, it shouldn't be that difficult. What if some monster creature comes upon us? You're gonna just sit there, drop it, and keep walking? I laugh and shake my head. The next time I see him sneaking off, I follow closely behind. I feel like this is his version of a game, at least to me. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like in some way he's trying to teach me to do what he does, to see if I can readily identify food as well. Much of the time, he outsmarts me. Clever boy. He climbs up a tree and I wonder what he's doing. It's very confusing to me. He doesn't have a spear, but then I understand. I see him eyeing the blossom bulbs on the tree. That's not something I usually would eat, but if he says it's food, it's food. Hey, Furhead, you're doing it the hard way. For once, I actually know a better way. Step aside. I pull back my weight and charge into the tree several times. See, this is how you get the work done in half the time. A whole bunch of the blossom bulbs fall to the ground. I see him pointing towards one. Don't worry, I got it. I tell him as I grab it up, and the others. They're not so bad. Good boy, I tell him as I slink away. Life is so easy right now, and the Furhead is really useful. If only my kids could see me now. Suddenly, a force pushes me to the side, and it's Furhead roaring at me with rage. Why is he acting so wild? I should have known one day he would turn. I roared back at him, telling him to behave. You stop it right now! What is his problem? Suddenly, he takes up his long tooth and holds it towards me. You would not. I am so confused. I try to analyze the situation. Would he really bite me with that thing? Would he kill me like he killed those other monsters? He wouldn't. He loved my children. We're a team. We're a pack. And pack members never prey on each other. Honestly, in this moment, I would never admit it to anyone else, but he scared me. He took down those monsters that tried to eat my babies, and he took down the big one that did. But I stand my ground. He's a wild animal, and if I let him get his way, well, he won't respect me, and then what will happen? Furhead, put it down now, I say, with a little quiver in my voice. He huffs and puffs and stares me down. I stare back. Put it down now! He finally relents and then walks away. I release the breath I didn't even realize I was holding. What just happened a while ago? I'm gonna seriously need to train him more. That will not happen. I will not have a pet walking all over me. I don't follow him for a while. I let him cool off. Last thing I want to do is get bitten by that thing. In our little cave, I am warmed by the ground star's heat. I am sleeping peacefully. My children are in my dreams. I wake up as I hear something snap its jaws around them. Then suddenly, the Furhead's long tooth is piercing my face. I wake up with a start to look where he is. He's sitting over the other side of the cave. He wouldn't hurt me. I start to drift off back to sleep, exhausted. And I feel something. I hear, in the depths of my soul, a deep rumbling growl. I open my eyes, and the Furhead is staring straight at me, growling. I growl back. Enough is enough. Stop this right now. You are not the boss. I am the pack leader, I say, and he submits. The next day, I can smell the rain in the sky. It's ready. We walk by the gigantic falling water. He's on the prowl. I'm a bit tired, but I'm ready to hunt. Suddenly, we see the prey. Well, what am I talking about? We knew the prey was there. I get ready, and I charge towards it. He suddenly steps out in front of me, bearing his long tooth. I gasp in surprise. Furhead, what are you doing? You're letting the prey get away! He stands there, confronting me, his sharp long tooth glistening in what little light we have under the canopy. What are you doing? I say, narrowing my eyes. Are you challenging me? Are you threatening me right now? The nerve of you, you ungrateful little thing! I wait to see what he's going to do next, and honestly, I don't really know how to handle this because I have no idea why he's acting like this. Suddenly, he starts gnawing the sharp long tooth in my face. I know he's not trying to hurt me because if he really wanted to, he would. He jabs it at me, almost cutting my face a few times. I just sit there, waiting until he finishes this tantrum for whatever reason. He then walks away like a psycho. Okay, I guess I won't follow behind you then. Wow. I turn around and I decide to hunt the food for myself. After all, since I am the alpha, I get first dibs. I find it. I get closer to it than he even can, and I nab it. Suddenly, he comes crashing through the trees like a mad thing. Furhead, this is mine. We hunt for me first. You know this. He then slashes at me with his long tooth, cutting me as the prey falls out of my mouth. Oh, I have had it. I roar menacingly at him, commanding him to step down now. I am the alpha. You have the nerve. I brought you into my family. I let you near my babies. I know you saved our life, but I am the alpha. I am the leader, and you will obey. Now, Furhead, submit. I think I just about lost it when I see him glare at me and then put his foot on my kill. You! That's it. I warned him. I tackle him with my head, fully expecting him to fight for the dominance, which he does. He comes at me trying to bite me with his long tooth. I dodge his attack. I try to get around to his blind side and bite. He needs to get the hurt put on him real quick. He shoves his long tooth in my face again and I snap it in half. I want to remind you who's in control here, I say as he sits there looking at his broken tooth. It's me. It's not you. It's me. I'm bigger, I'm smarter, I'm more powerful, so what's it going to be? It's either you're going to be a member of this pack or you're going to leave! I breathe hard and I sit down there staring, waiting for him to make a decision. I don't want him to leave. After all, I consider him one of my pack mates. But he's not standing down. As we sit there as the rain is falling heavy upon us, he just sits there staring down at me. Furhead, are you going to behave? He takes up some objects and slaps me in the face so hard I see stars. This enrages me, and I attack. Once again, I'm able to throw him to the side. He stands down, and then he comes right back and stares at me. What are you gonna do? Are you going to submit? He doesn't. But something both catches our attention. It's a weird noise. And as we focus, we realize that there is a heap of... My heart stops. Hissing danglers. It has to be. This is what my father used to talk about. I've never actually seen one up close, but there are hundreds of them in front of us right now. No doubt in a mating coil. I don't wait around for Furhead. I book it. I can hear the sound of water crashing down and heading straight towards us. I run as fast as I can, Furhead following alongside me and even passing me at one point. The next few moments that occur are a blur to me. Suddenly I am underwater, surrounded by the hissing danglers. I don't remember ever feeling a fear like this, aside from my babies. Some of them bite me on my back and I snap them in half. Some are as large as I am, even larger. I hold my breath and I bite down on one before it can do damage. I scratch my claws at it and then bite its head off. I swim towards the Furhead, trying to signal to him to hang on to me so we can surface. Whether or not he's holding on, I head for the surface as I'm losing air quick, my lungs burning. Where is the Furhead? Everything around me is so rushed and so loud. I keep getting water in my mouth. I keep getting water in my lungs. I can hardly keep myself afloat. I'm tiring quickly. And then I look and see that the water just stops ahead of me. Oh no, the gigantic falling water, we're right at the edge. I don't know what to do. Oh no, Furhead. I see him hurling towards me, holding on to one of the hissing danglers. One of their dead bodies, that is. I think that's the one that I killed. Oh no, he's gonna go right over the edge. I grab onto the hissing dangler's corpse to try and pull Furhead back. Nothing is working, and then I realize that he's swimming towards the edge. What is he doing? I understand. He wants to wrap the dangler's body around the rock. I get it now. This is the way I can save him. With each of us on either end of the dangler, we head towards the rock in the middle. The dangler will wrap around it, and I'll get to save him. I didn't calculate how much lighter he was than me, though, and suddenly I go falling, but I'm not letting go of this dangler. I am hanging in the air for a few seconds. I can see vaguely below that there are some sharp rocks, like teeth growing from out of the ground, ready to devour me. But for some reason, all I can think about is protecting Furhead. Even with my life in danger, I wonder what I can do to keep myself alive so I can keep him alive. Before I can think up a plan, we're both falling to the ground. Furhead! I cry out right before I disappear beneath the surface of the water. I swim looking for him desperately. He's not on the surface anywhere. He's not below the water. I can't lose him. I can't lose him. That's the last thing that I have to remind me of my children. I can't freak out. I have to have a level head. Smell. Everything is surrounded by water. It's so hard to pick up a scent. But he has to be here somewhere. But no matter how hard I look, I can't find him. My babies, I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh. What am I supposed to tell them? They're not even here, but I feel like I've let them down somehow. This is the last thing that I have to connect me to my children, and I've lost it. Now it's gone. I did find one thing, though. I see a glint on the bottom of the water. I dive down, and I take it into my mouth. It's part of his long tooth. I head to the surface and take a deep breath with a long tooth under my tongue. I still look around hoping that somehow I'll see him and... Wait, there he is! There he is on the surface of the water! I can smell blood. He's hurt. I swim towards him frantically and I pick him up. As bulky as he is, he's surprisingly light in my jaws. I set him down gently, hoping that he's still alive. He has to be. I can't lose him too. Despite everything, he is the only family I have left. I turn him over so he can breathe, and all he does is bleed. He's gone. But I hear him stir. He's alive. Furhead, are you okay? Oh my gosh, I thought you were gone forever. Oh, Furhead. I'm so happy. If there's anything good that could happen to me right now, it's having him still be here with me. I don't want to be alone. Nothing else matters. Oh yes, that's right. His long tooth. I didn't even realize I still had it in my mouth. I coax it from under my tongue and set it down before him. Here. I save the sharp end. You're gonna need this. Because from now on, we're gonna hunt as a team. Do you understand? Almost having lost him made me realize how much I actually depend on him, how much I actually need him here. He is more than just a pet. He is the last bit of hope that I have left. He is the symbol of my children. I wouldn't go as far as calling him my equal, but he's pretty high up there. What I'm trying to say is he's really important. After having almost lost him, I know he needs to build up his strength. So the next few hunts, I let him have most of the food. Or at least more than I usually would let him have. I don't want to consider him just a pet anymore. I realize now he's too important. Okay, Furhead. We eat together. Okay? That doesn't mean that you're the boss of me. I love you. I can't believe I just said that. But I do. All my love that I gave for my babies, it was still there, but I had no one to give it to. Except him. He rides on my back and we hunt down the prey. This is the third one we've caught, and he gets to have it. All to himself. That night, I am exhausted. It's actually much easier when we work together. It's so cool that he's able to kill prey from so far away. I can never get over how he does that. Wow, must be the luckiest person alive. In my dreams, the hissing danglers haunt me. I wake up, and to my horror, one is right in front of me. I see my death before my eyes, the way I experienced it those nights before. All I can feel is fear until suddenly, the hissing dangler stops moving. The long tooth is sticking from out of its head, now oozing with blood. I look over, and I see the fur head, smugly sitting there, having killed it. I guess we do need each other, huh? Thanks for having my back. He burns it in the hot ground star, and I watch for a moment as he sits there awake, seemingly watching over me. For the first time in my entire life, with the exception of when I was born, I feel safe.